Hi there, this is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. And today we are all over the world with people already in the chat room calling in from various places across the United States, Canada, I believe. We've got South America covered, Central America. And if some of my Scottish and British friends show up, we'll even have the European continent with us. My special guest today is Preston Odenbrett, who's originally from Minnesota, so not too far from me, a couple states over from me here in Michigan. And you are calling in from Honduras, where you live now, right?
I live here right now in San Pedro Sula, the second largest city in the country.
Wow. How long have you been down there?
Going on almost 5 years in August.
And give us a real quick, brief intro into what took you down to that area and why you're living there.
Sure. Well, originally it was because my mother and father-in-law have a ministry down here, and what they needed help. And we decided that they're not getting any younger, and they had a lot of stuff going on. So we just decided, well, let's pack up and move. And
Wow.
We did. It was kind of scary because we had about 6 pieces of luggage, and that was about it. And we sold everything else and just left. And been here ever since, helping a lot with Operation Christmas Child now, which is obviously the ministry of Samaritan's Purse and Billy Graham. And we distribute a lot of the shoe boxes that come in from the United States. We're actually the whole entire coordination of Honduras. All the churches come here. We go out to there and deliver boxes. Plus, we got a medical clinic and, of course, our regular church. So we keep busy.
That's awesome. And that's just part of what brought you down there. But it's not like what you do for your day job.
No. My day job is a little bit different. Obviously, I help in the ministry whenever I can. My day job is more, contacting different businesses, mostly hotels, resorts, and beautiful locations. And I help them actually bring in international guests, usually from Italy, Malta, Europe area, into their hotels and resorts. And how I normally do that is we actually place high-definition webcam streams at those locations. So people from all around the world can actually see and actually almost be at the place that they want to go to. So it's a great pre-planning idea for the next vacation.
I even like it as a post-vacation, remind me of what it was like to be there. Because we've talked. Yep. You said, did you know we have one over in San Marco Square in Venice? And I said, really? That was one of my favorite places to stop. And then I spent like the next hour just watching the people go by, and the webcams are like unobtrusive.
Yeah.
But if you know where they're set up and you're traveling, you can tell your family, it's kind of like going to a baseball game or a football game and saying, watch for me in the stands. I'm going to be there on this date, and I'll wave and see if you can see me. And then your friends and family can kind of experience your vacation with you, which I think is really cool. Now, you said the most recent one that was just installed was where?
We installed it in Reunion, Florida. For people that don't know what Reunion is, it's a very high inclusive resort area in Florida. There's actually 3 of the signature golf courses that have been created by Palmer, Watson, and Nicklaus that are there. And so we have it overshowing the 6th hole of Jack Nicklaus course. So you can kind of see people golfing, and you can see the beautiful homes that are being built. What they're doing there is they're actually building larger mansions, which are like 15 to 20 rooms. And the reason for it is because a lot of international travelers are coming here with their whole entire family to spend time at Disneyland or to spend time in or Disney World, right, and spend time in Orlando. But they don't want to use the hotels necessarily, so this is another option for them, and people like it. So it's kind of a trend.
I think it's awesome. And like I said, I love to travel, haven't been able to do a lot in the last few years. So being able to see live cams from various places around the world is pretty exciting to me. It really, the geek in me and the travel nerd in me really likes that a lot. But let's get to today's topic. And today's topic is how some of those of us who do like to travel, whether it's just around your hometown, because we don't often give our hometowns and our home states and our home regions enough credit for the beautiful things or the interesting things there. Let's talk about the other thing that you offer people individually to mix a little bit of travel and pleasure with an opportunity for some exposure for their business and things like that. So tell us about being a travel scout.
Okay. Well, I created a travel scout just because of the fact that I found a lot of people obviously do travel. It is the largest industry in the world. And I was trying to figure out how do I actually reach out and help them while also helping myself. And I decided to put together a program called the Travel Scout Program. And it's a very simple program. Anytime you know about scouts, they actually try to locate interesting information. It's more strategy based upon war, but a lot of people are using scouts to scout out new locations. And so I can't be everywhere all the time, and I can't call people all day long, because there's just too many resorts and too many hotels and too many beautiful destinations around the world. So I find people who are actually have a passion for travel, are either in the industry or are looking for ways that they can help bring themselves into that industry. And what I do is I ask them if they want to become part of a Travel Scout program. All they need to do for me is get a picture from at least 20 feet high, because of privacy concerns, and do a speed test, which is pretty easy. Go to speedtest.net and be able to actually get the speed of the upload, and then just the contact information. And then if we feel that it's a good location that will help our network, help obviously the visitors coming in there, and of course help the resort or hotel that we're working with, then we actually might give them a camera. And that will give them a lot of international exposure for the hotel and resort. But as a partner who's helped me as a travel scout, they become my collaboration partner, and they also get their logo, which obviously goes directly to their website or landing page or whatever. So they also get that exposure internationally. And currently, we're getting anywhere between 16 to 18 million views per month to all our cameras. And on average, most cameras, when we set them up, are usually running anywhere between 1,500 to 5,000 views per day. So it's a great opportunity for the right, person.
I wish you were in business back when I was doing a lot of travel throughout the Midwest and the southern states. And then I went to the Caribbean and I went to Europe a couple times, and I could see me all set up. And now there are other opportunities as well, maybe to talk about the places they're actually visiting in an article, or how else can they tie this into what they may want to do themselves for their own blogs?
Yeah, I think the thing is if they go to a travel location, of course, on vacation or for business for that matter, they can turn it into whatever they want as far as with me. I mean, if they feel that it's a good location, they can submit that information and we can see if we can do that. And then if they like it that much, then they can also submit an article, and we will put that up on the website to be able to highlight that individual place. They can write about really anything that they want in regards to the hotel or resort. They can do a video log if they want. It really doesn't matter. And if they do that extra step, there is also a residual that we actually will pay for them, because now they're becoming more of a collaboration partner at a higher level.
Wow. Now, is there any cost to connect with you and be considered, or ongoing costs for someone who wants to be involved with this?
No, it's a very simple program. All they need to do is basically just go to my website and sign up to become one. Then I will send them a detailed information email, and then we can talk and find out, what area they would like to look at, and kind of go from there. Tell them kind of how things work. I'm also putting an email series together for my travel scouts, so they can every week they can get training on something that would help them when they're out and about and vacationing, or like I said, do business in a certain area.
Right. Now, I just posted the Travel Scout URL. It's http:// Travel Scouts with an S .PrestonOdenbrett.com. And thanks, John Morris. We did get Europe involved. We've got South America, North America, Europe, and Central America all on the line today. I think that's awesome. What is the exact URL for, like, to see the webcams?
Okay, that's skylinewebcams.com.
All right, let me type that in and see if I can bring the Skyline.
Yeah, maybe you can bring it into the room as a share screen.
We'll see here if I can grab this one here.
I apologize to the people who are typing. I can't actually type on a tablet. It doesn't allow me. But yeah, this is my office.
Yep. Well, in fact, most of the time when we connect with Preston, he's sitting in the car.
I'm a traveling guy.
All right, right. Yep, I just grabbed it. The one up right now, if you don't change it, is showing Trevi Fountain in Rome. And I'm going to try putting it actually into...
Yeah, do it as a share screen. It should work.
Yeah, we're going to try.
I don't think the recording will come out, but
there we go. And you can pick which view you're going to look at. I was one of the ones that threw, the coin over my left shoulder into Trevi Fountain and had roasted chestnuts. Got a kiss on the cheek from the wonderful little vendor there. So Marissa's got a question for you, Preston.
Yeah,
Can you share more about the income opportunity associated with this?
Sure. Well, it's international exposure. That's one income opportunity. So you don't have to actually spend the amount of money that would be to find the right travelers, because our travelers, according to a non-official source, they say most of the people that come to our site are earning over $100,000 a year. So they have, money available to them. And they will try to find new locations to go on their vacation or business trips. What we also have done is on the new cameras that we establish right now, if they go with our program as far as the resort or hotel and we deem it as a good location, in order for them to actually get the camera, they will get it really at a very beneficial cost to them. And by doing so, we're going to be putting ads inside of the views through Google. And Google will pay us based upon the ads views and the ad clicks. And then we're going to be sharing that revenue with the Travel Scouts. So the nice thing is that once we get something established and the Travel Scout helps us, that income is a residual each and every month for life. And there is no limit to how many cameras you can help us place. And Google, as long as they're still in business, they'll still pay us, and then we still pay the Travel Scout. So it's a pretty lucrative type income structure.
Right. So it's not an immediate, you're not going to use it as a quick influx of cash for you. This is more like of a passive income stream that could pay off for you long term.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's, the average we figure is anywhere between 20 to $50 a month, so obviously if somebody helps me establish 100 cameras, that's extra money you can go on trips with.
Right. And you got to think about, we already mentioned where some of the people are that are here in the live chat with us, where you are. I'm here in Michigan. If you joined us late, Preston's calling in from Honduras. He's originally from Minnesota. He's been living down in Honduras for a little over 5 years now. Full time. We've got Marissa here from Colombia. We've got Avon, who's over in Canada, but spends part of her year down in Jamaica. John, who's a wonderful artist and musician and youth minister from Scotland. So think about where you're at. You don't need to be traveling sometimes to these exotic locations that that I don't know about you, but when I go away, the location seems more exotic than where I'm here. But we all have wonderful travel locations in our areas.
Right.
Steve was here. Chris, I forget where you're from. You might want to pop that into the chat, but I know Steve Henry was here. He's down in Kansas. So, and Cindy's over in Wisconsin. So we've got a good representation here. All right. Give us the 3 tips that for them to look at. Okay, so Chris is in the mountains of central Pennsylvania, so another state taken care of here. So give us some tips that we should be considering.
Well, obviously, the tips for going into the website, there's a couple of them. One is that you can go by, obviously, either the type of vacation you're looking for. So whether it be city, whether it be scenic, whether it be beach, it's all listed there. You can also go by country, and the countries will obviously show on the webcam area. What I always like telling people, and I told Kat this, and this is why she probably spends a lot of time there, is that if you go to a camera view and you click onto it and you actually see the bigger view, not with all the other views of all the other cameras, you'll go to a separate page, and of course you'll see the host on the right-hand side and then maybe collaboration partner. But what you'll see is a little thing called Live. And if you go right above that little thing and click onto it, it makes it a bigger picture, and it basically fills up the entire screen. So now you really have almost like a screensaver that you can go to anytime that you want when you're stressed and you want to relax and you really want to go look at places. And it's beautiful. It's not pixelated. There's a lot of web cameras we've seen that are just like taking pictures for 8 seconds. They're just really grainy. Ours are not. Ours are like.
Right. I've got decent internet, but I'm out here in a rural area, so it can be a little hesitant at times, but I can watch your sky cams and they're crystal clear. Yeah. They're also not full of a lot of advertising because the webcam is doing the advertising for the location. So you're hooking up with chambers of commerce or business associations as well as independent hotel chains and things like that. Am I remembering correctly that the one volcano over in Italy that did a little poof the other day, one of your cameras actually caught that, right?
Yeah. A lot of what's happening now too is that there's a lot of. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
You froze here on my end. Anyways, there's actually a lot of TV stations right now that are including their cameras when they're doing broadcasting and stuff. So it is becoming one of those things that people are going to see live events, around the world. So people will see that.
Right. Now, Marissa, you touched on this briefly earlier,
yep.
But I want to bring up Marissa's question here. She says, what about privacy issues or privacy laws?
Yeah. Well, that's why we're pretty adamant about making sure that it's at least 20 feet in the air or higher. Because we don't want to see faces. That'd be illegal type thing. So we make sure that when we set it up that we tell the owners of the resort or hotel or management they need to have it at least 20 feet high for international privacy laws. Now, some people will put it down lower, and then it's their responsibility, so.
Right. And if you're taking pictures and writing about it in an article and it's you and your family and you've got people that are agreeing to be in this picture, then the privacy issue kind of goes away.
Right.
But it's pretty much like a regular privacy issue. You see a lot of the TV shows, the travel shows, people are walking through,
exactly.
It happens,
Yeah. Well,
you do
20 feet up. We don't have those cameras that zoom in. These are all stationary, so they're just mounted
right.
in one location. But that's why the quality is so good as well, because when we put it in, we configure it. So if anything goes by, like a bird or people walking, you don't see shadows. You see the actual person walking.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So your tip was look for beautiful sites where you live or where you're traveling, and use the Skycam to help you actually plan your vacation, or revisit your location, or just send the link to family and friends, and maybe they'll see you walk through someday. I know when I used to travel, the few times with kids, we'd all be wearing like a certain color bright shirt, so we were easy to see. It was like catching a pod of dolphins or something else. You'd watch for this color to go by. or if you got lost, we had little tricks of how to find each other. Yeah. All right. So
some other questions.
The travel. Yeah, you said to also go to the travel clinic before you go to the international destinations, and that's on the Skyline webcam site, right?
No, the travel clinics are depending upon where you're at, but I would definitely go visit them if you're going to go international, because there's a lot of things that they're going to tell you of shots and other things that you need to have, because you don't want to go into an area and all of a sudden get really sick, so that information is good. And also, when you do international travel, you want to tell people that you are doing international travel, especially the embassy and those things, just so if something does happen, you can be rescued, so to speak. So.
Exactly. You don't want to just go incognito and go off the grid completely with no one knowing what your plans were. Yeah. Avon says, I'm here in Port St. Lucie, I think it is, or Lucia, yeah, Florida, where my other home is. And I was right. Jamaica is her base, and she loves to travel to Atlanta, Georgia, too. So we temporarily lost Preston. I'm sure he'll be back. There we go. Here he comes. That's the way of this. This is live. So this is, I'm not 20 feet in the air. I could be, I guess, broadcasting. But I could even see some of these being, on the tops of silos in farm country. Who wouldn't like to watch a peaceful rural scene now and again? Or somewhere in, our beautiful Mackinac Island, and where you could see the mighty bridge, our Big Mac Bridge and things like that. Glad you're back. I knew you'd be back. Cindy says national. I was just saying that in addition to some of these other places, I'd love to see some of these cams that are showing rural areas, or like Cindy just mentioned, national forests, mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you can go and watch the Skycam for a while, and how peaceful that can be for you. That can be part of your meditation for the day. Yeah. And Marissa says, what about waterfalls? I think those are all great ideas. Yeah. So let me try to recap one more time. If someone has a place that they think might be a good place for a webcam, they can contact you to see if you're already working with that entity that owns that place, or that has the rights to broadcast from that space. And if not, you'll tell them what they can do, or there'll be a connection of some way. Right. And then they need to go to your Travel Scouts site, mm-hmm. which is off your main site. And I'm going to put that back in the chat box one more time. This is Preston's Travel Scout, to learn more about being a Travel Scout and sending that up. And I'm going to put that Skyline website in the chat one more time for people. And the rest of you, if you are here live and would like to share your own links to your own websites, or have other questions, feel free to do that. Preston, I want to know, how in the world did you get hooked up with this? I mean, other than being in a location that is a travel destination for some people.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was part of another startup, and I was really gung-ho about it. It was a CRM system that was going to go really well. And they're still going in business, but I just kind of got out of it. And one of the guys that I met, I think I was in a social media networking site. I can't remember, the one with Michael Seltzner. And I met this guy, and I kind of posted kind of what I was doing, and he got really excited about it, and we started talking, and then eventually, it was like 6 months later, he said, "Hey, I wanted to show you something that I'm doing right now," and he told me about this company and what they were doing, and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty good opportunity here, and things are going this way with video and live stream. And when I looked at the live stream, I was hooked. I mean, I'm like, I've never seen anything as good as quality as this. So I got pretty excited about going out, and I went out to Roatan and got some cameras established. We just had a little challenges with the internet and electricity here because it goes on and off, but we're trying to get those replaced because I actually do have 7 in Roatan. Right now only 1 is showing. So, but those things happen, and we try to get them online as fast as possible. So.
Right. And it is the type of business that has to gain a following over time, which most do. A lot of people only find out about a business after it's reached a certain momentum. Yep. And this is still pretty new. So how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it about 2.5 years now. So obviously you're right. I mean, it is expanding. I just looked at the amount of visitors, of course, that we had when I first started and what we have now, and it quadrupled. So the numbers are going there. We're actually more popular than a competitor, which is EarthCam, which is very established as far as their network goes, but they don't have that international clientele that we do. And so now that we're moving more into the United States, I think more and more people in Florida, Texas, California, I'm getting a lot of people involved in those states because obviously those are tourist attraction states. Right. And we're getting a lot of different people. I know Opal Sands, which is a brand new place in Clearwater, is now negotiating with us to get 1 camera up there, and it's absolutely gorgeous view. So we'll see how many go up in Florida and around the United States.
Yeah, wait till there's one up on the International Space Station.
Yeah, now you're talking my other language, right?
Oh, yes, Doctor Who. He's wearing his Doctor Who shirt that I have in the promo picture. All right. We've got just a few minutes left. Anybody else have questions for Preston? Do you like this idea? I know I'd like to visit everybody that's been here that are all over the place. I have, besides Avon, I have another friend who has a property down in Jamaica, and keep saying, come down and visit, which I'd love to do. Yeah. I have a brother down in the Charleston, South Carolina area, beautiful area.
Absolutely.
A daughter in Iron Mountain, Michigan, which is another, beautiful rural area. Marissa says, great idea. I also wish I knew about this when we were living in Panama, Costa Rica, and Chile. Yeah. I bet you do.
If you still have the contacts over there, I can definitely still put that together. I am working with a lady in Costa Rica right now, so we're trying to get some things out there. Central America, I got some things in Maldives coming out. So, yeah, a lot of great things. The other 2 things I really just wanted to quickly mention that maybe you don't know of, Kat, and I think I told you, but we haven't mentioned it here, is that if they want to have the world in their pocket, we also do have an app for that. And you can Google Play and look under Skyline Webcams and actually download that app. So you can view it anytime that you want. And then the second thing, I forgot what I was going to say.
All right. Well, Cindy, who's write it for you in the chat right now, and so often helps me. Good thing I'm not on stage today. Good grief. Right. Is also in the travel industry. She is a travel agent part-time. So she says, I'm definitely am trying to partner with Preston for the best industry rates on travel to get you to places where you want to put the cameras.
Nice.
And then she says, come out and try, check out her True Visions travel agency and join the free travel club. So she's got lots of opportunities there. And isn't it wonderful that we have something like Blab and Facebook? Because I think everybody that's here right now and that's popped in and out today, I all met on Facebook. And, well, except for my husband, that's Chef Dennis. That's the one in the cute chef hat. He's the only one, but sometimes we connect on Facebook too now. So it's really a small world anymore.
Yeah.
And besides all of the negatives that are out there, there's some wonderful things going on, and there are wonderful people everywhere you go. You know, there's some of the nasties. You're going to find nasties everywhere too. But I'll tell you, I have found wonderful people everywhere that I have traveled. And I think it's partly because that's what I expect to find. So you find what you expect. Have I had some scary things happen? Yeah, I have. But they've been minimized because I've been careful.
Right.
So thanks for joining us, Stephanie. You're going to have to catch the replay. We're just finishing up. You can follow in the chat, though, for some of the links. And then still in the link on screen is the one of the links, True Visions Travel. That's Cindy's.
Yep.
So any last words of advice or encouragement?
Well, Marissa's asking what the name of the app is. It's Skyline Webcams. You can go to Google Play. I think iOS is going to come out here shortly. No, I just think, if you're going to be traveling anyways, it's always a good thing to see what's going on there live. Pictures, photos can be doctored. And there is a really cool site that I'm actually going to be looking at hooking up with too, although they just got bought out by Expedia or some other bigger organization. And they actually do reviews at hotels. They'll show you what they actually show you in the commercial, so to speak, and then when they get there. So it's real reviews. And some hotels are kind of cleaning up their act, because if you see seaweed and the beach is not as good as what the picture is, you're not going to be happy as a traveler. And that just ruins your experience. So. That's
a really good point, because like you said, pictures that were taken before aren't always representative of what's going on when you're getting ready to travel. Exactly. I remember being in Boston years ago and flying out and seeing all of the debris that was in Boston Harbor. And I'm thinking, I'm not sure I want to go into the ocean once I get out to Cape Cod, So that's a really good point. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for making time for us today and having a really good connection here. Thank you, everybody who's been in the live chat, and those who will be watching the replay later, either on YouTube or on a chat blab itself, where you can catch the actual chat roll there. And this is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com. Closing up another episode of Fast Action Friday. And I want to remind you to keep rocking your unique path to success.